So the other day I was asked by somebody, who's the most underrated player that you think has ever played in the NHL? And a lot of guys have come to my mind. One particular being Pavel Datsyuk, another one maybe Henrik Zetterberg during his time there. But I actually was thinking there's a guy who doesn't get talked about enough for what he did in the NHL. And that's Teemu Selanne. Now I know a lot of you are probably thinking, what are you talking about, Jimmy? This is literally a guy that everybody puts on a pedestal, but let me explain this a little bit, okay? Now, Teemu Selanne was a bona fide star in the league. Everybody knew who he was, but in my opinion, I think that there are some people who just forget about his career because of the lack of cups that he had. Now, Teemu Selanne wasn't the most flashy player, but when he hit the ice, this guy's skating ability and his puck handling skills were off the charts. And if you talk to people today, he's never mentioned as their favorite hockey player. He's never that guy that you look back on and say, hey, this guy was the best player in that time era. But in my opinion, I think he was, both for hockey personality and his ability to play the game. If you watch Teemu during that time, especially look back at his rookie season, this guy had 76 tucks in his first season. I mean, that's like unheard of in the league. And if you look back at his career as a whole, he was never in like bad news. He was constantly the guy that like showed his personality on the ice. 6 cellies, amazing highlights, and he won that Stanley Cup with the Ducks, which in my opinion really solidified his career as an NHL player. And even though people don't really consider him like the favorite player that you had, I still think he's more underrated because there was so many other talented players that entered the league. You had Bergeron coming up. He played along Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf. Crosby and Ovechkin came in right when he was about to leave the league. And I just think that he maybe got overlooked during his time in the NHL, and we didn't really appreciate the value that he brought. And still to this day, you see Teemu in a lot of hockey content, still supplying that personality, still supporting the league, and showing what it means to be a hockey player. I mean, I don't think I can think of another guy who is as entertaining and respectful to the game as Teemu Selanne. And still to this day, when I see his highlights, I'm like, man, we didn't know how good we had it when this guy was in the league. But what do you guys think about this? Who's your most underrated NHL player of all time? And do you remember watching Teemu Selanne, or is this a guy that you just heard legends about and think that he was just a good player based on what other people think? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's my opinion on the most underrated player to ever play in the NHL. Make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your most underrated player below. I'll see you guys in the next one.